Okay, I think it's about time to get started. There's a couple of people are probably going to come in as the class goes on. Gary's watching just in case they're not sure how to come back all the way. So thank you all for coming. Welcome, o croeso, as it says in Welsh, which it means welcome. I'm just going to start with a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, we are indeed so grateful for the many things that you provide for us in our lives. We know sometimes, Lord, we're slothful. We don't follow direction and we don't follow your word. And we know sometimes this is difficult for us, but we pray, Lord, that tonight we will be able to learn of those things that you've put inside of us, how our bodies work and how we can be on top of our game. We know that you love us, you care for us, and you want us to be healthy and well. And you've provided everything for us by the beautiful body that you created. Pray a blessing on each and every one here tonight for whatever reason they came. May they find something to take home with them that would improve their sleep and give them a better quality of life. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, I know there are other people coming, but they're not here right now, so I'm not going to hold anybody up. I'm going to go ahead and get started. You've all picked up a packet. The first 2 pages, I'd like to come back to me. If they don't, it's not a big deal. However, I will say if you do choose to seek a supplement for your health and you are under the care of a physician, please check first. And that's what the waiver basically is all about. So, we're here to talk about the splendor of a good night's sleep. A healthy night means a healthy day. We all know if we don't sleep well, the next day we're foggy, we're not on our game at all. We're slow, we don't think well because something happened and we didn't get a good night's sleep. So this class is presented by myself, Julie Leibold, RN, naturopathic wellness coach and then franchise owner with marketamericashop.com. The slide presentation is one of Dr. Deidre Mason's presentations, and she's a naturopath, has been for many, many years, and I've known her for many, many years, a phenomenal individual that understands the body way better than I could ever understand it. So just a little introduction. Market America is a product brokerage company founded in 1992 by J.R. Reidinger, and has pioneered the way for the delivery of the finest nutraceuticals in the world. We all know about pharmaceuticals. Nutraceuticals are the things that are more natural. They are backed by science and have revolutionized the health and wellness industry for over 30 years. The company is built on product and powered by people. The current CEO, Lauren Reidinger, was just recognized at the White House by the MAHA movement for her success in promoting wellness over the past 30 years and changing lives. Most of us would probably agree that we need more sleep, quality sleep, that is. Our busy lives, constant use of blue light, and stress, along with caffeine consumption, all contribute to a poor night's sleep. These habits can be broken. Bondage broken from compulsive habits is the fourth class in this series of 4 that I'm facilitating. So we all know what sleep is, or we think we do, right? So now you've been focused on your packets, I'm going to take your mind away from the packets, and we're going to have a little quiz, just to have some interaction. You don't have to shout out answers or anything like that, but I'm just going to stimulate your minds, hopefully, and ask some questions about sleep. So why is sleep, that is good sleep, why is it critical? It promotes longevity. And as we go on through and I summarize, you'll get these answers as I go on through. What is muscle the tissue of? We all know that muscle is good for us. It keeps us upright. It keeps us moving. It is the tissue of longevity. Lose muscle, you lose the ability to sustain your own body. Quality sleep is necessary for what? It's necessary for a critical brain, for our critical thinking skills. Ever felt foggy when you haven't had a good night's sleep? It's because those critical skills were interrupted. What are the best times for memory consolidation in sleep? Anybody go to bed before 10 o'clock? I know I don't. I'm a night owl. But the best hours for memory consolidation in sleep are between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. What system stays awake with blue light? We all know what blue light is and how devastating it is for us, especially for our children. The system that stays awake is the nervous system. What are you living against with poor sleep? Anybody have any idea what we're living against if we don't get good sleep? Actually, it's a healthy metabolism. And what dictates that metabolism? Muscle. So one, we have to move. We have to get good sleep. So all this is synergistic, means it all works together. We have a phenomenal body. The Lord created a phenomenal body, and it all works in tandem with itself to help us be the people we are and have the health that we have. So there's synergy. What would be a good investment to counteract that blue light? Our phones, TV, computers, our children are attached to them 24/7. Either a red or a pink light, like a pink Himalayan salt light. And as we go on through, you'll see some of these answers in the presentation, and I will summarize at the end. What circulates in the body for a very long time and bumps off sleep? Most of you know what this is. Something that stays in the body for a long time after you consume it, and it bumps off your sleep. Yeah, Susan knows, it's caffeine. And what wears the pants for healthy sleep? Any idea what wears the pants? What's the most critical thing for a healthy night's sleep? That would be a routine. Go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. So anybody know what is considered our critical battery in the body? What keeps us going? And you may have heard this term, you may not have. It's called the mitochondria. And then which hormone is the moonlight hormone that helps us sleep? That would be melatonin. We're going to talk quite a bit about melatonin. And then anybody know who the kissing cousin for melatonin is? Another hormone that we're all aware of. And that would be vitamin D. There's another question. Which supplement is the most underutilized and most deficient in our bodies? Magnesium. Very crucial supplement. And the saying goes, if your body can't make it, you must take it. Because our food sources are so limited and they lack so much nutrition, the supplements that people take fill those gaps to give you a healthier chance of not getting a disease process. So sleep is what? It is essential, it is necessary, and supplements are not a luxury. In the past, everybody thought, oh, supplements are a luxury. I can just eat my food. The nutrition is gone out of our food. And we are trying really hard to get back on track so that we can have a chance at longevity. Okay. Yes. And like I say, our CEO was at the White House. She's been recognized for over 30 years for her attention to health and wellness, so that's great. So the Splendor of a Good Night's Sleep. This is a Market America Product Symposium slide presentation by Dr. Deidre Mason. I was allowed to have this slide because I bought into the symposium. So otherwise, these slides are not available for most people. So before we get started, just going to press here and see if this works. Here is our disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I will be talking about supplements that support a good healthy night's sleep. There's quite a bit of information. Your packets have most of that information in them. And again, my phone number's in there. My text, if you text me the phone number, my email is in there also. So let's go ahead and start with the slide presentation. Sleep, the ultimate restorative. Sleep is a fundamental biological process that is as essential to our health as food and water. We don't always think of sleep that way. It gets compromised very often. During sleep, our bodies engage in a myriad of restorative processes that are crucial for physical health, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. Despite its importance, sleep is often sacrificed in our fast-paced 24/7 society. I'm sure you would all agree and understand that that is an issue for us going forward. Quality sleep is vital for memory consolidation, learning, and problem solving. Sleep plays a crucial role in supporting hormones that control appetite, stress, aging, immune function, and metabolism. I know we've got the Bigger Loser program just got started, but if you're not sleeping, that could be a deterrent to you losing weight, because that's when the hormones are activated. You need to get a good night's sleep. Persistent, even sub-threshold sleep disturbances impact weight, blood sugar levels, cardiovascular, and emotional health. So it's fascinating how the body just works together. This is just a little slide that I can't see very well here, but I'll look. And it's got different things about sleep routine. I can't really see it all here, but caffeine, there's several things that we've talked about are up on the slide right there. Your number one factor, the decline of deep, slow-wave sleep, begins much earlier in life than most people would expect. Changes in deep sleep can occur as early as the late 20s, fluctuating further by the time a person reaches 50, and again into their 80s. So what's the science of sleep? I said this was scientific, and there is a science to sleep. We look at a system called the glymphatic system inhibition. And a lot of these words you've never heard of, but I'm going to try and explain them to you as best I can. Quality sleep supports the brain's natural detoxification process, which helps clear metabolic waste and toxins. So while we sleep, the body cleans out the toxins just of our everyday life, the buildup of things just from our activities, exercise, or everyday life. Memory consolidation. Sleep patterns impact the formation of memories. Quality sleep supports emotional regulation and stress adaptation. So what the lymphatic system does, it flushes this out. And when we go into that slow wave sleep, or NREM sleep, which is deep sleep, is where cerebrospinal fluid actually flows through the brain's perivascular spaces to flush out metabolic waste products. Perivascular means space or tissue around a blood vessel. Flushing out of waste can help prevent diseases like dementia. Rampant. We have a lot of people with a dementia diagnosis. The process is 10 times more effective than when awake. So if we don't get that good quality sleep, we're causing more problems for our memory consolidation and for the possibility of having a diagnosis of dementia, all impacted by poor sleep. We talked about caffeine. I mean, a lot of us drink coffee. It's just something we've always done, or tea, or whatever it is that we drink. Monster drinks, some people, energy drinks. Our kids are all on energy drinks. It's killing their kidneys. Their blood pressures are elevated. So pay attention, not just for yourselves today, but for those that you love, your grandchildren, your children, and some of the things that they might be doing that would cause them not to have longevity. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 7 hours and a quarter life of 12. If you have a cup of coffee around noon, a quarter of that caffeine is still circulating in your body at midnight. Caffeine increases your core body temperature, which means you are more alert. Caffeine can modulate serotonin, which is another hormone, serotonin levels by affecting the gut-brain axis, potentially disruption, conversion to melatonin. So the body has precursors, like serotonin is a precursor to melatonin. So these hormones work synergistically. They work together to make a reaction happen. So if we are causing a disruption anywhere by our caffeine, that's what bumps off sleep, is caffeine. So who drinks it? Be honest. Coffee, tea, monster drinks, and more. Caffeine can change serotonin levels and disrupt conversion to melatonin, messing up good sleep. Our bodies are phenomenal machines, and they work synergistically. Everything is connected. There's no fences in the body. Everything is connected. That's the way it was designed. So serotonin is a precursor to melatonin, which many people take to promote sleep. Melatonin is the sleep-regulating hormone, or the moonlight hormone. So let's look at the next slide here. There might be an element of caffeine in decaf. It would be a better choice, but there might be an element in there. So just knowing how your body reacts to that. So what can we do? There's many things that we can do to alter our sleep pattern, and that is remove the TV from the bedroom. If I was Dr. Driedger, she would say the bedroom is for sex, it is not for a TV, and she'd be quite blunt about it. So take that whichever way you want, but that would be something Dr. Driedger would bluntly say. But blue light, if you have a TV in the bedroom and you say, well, it helps me go to sleep, that blue light prevents your body temperature from dropping during the night. And when your body temperature doesn't drop, it affects some of those hormones that are important for good sleep. A gradually lowering body temperature is one key element of the body's progression to sleep. So if the blue light prevents the body temperature from dropping, it's disrupting your sleep. Blue light suppresses melatonin production for more than twice as long as other light wavelengths and alters your circadian rhythms. Many of you have heard about a circadian rhythm. That's our body's 24-hour internal biological clock. They regulate physical, mental, and behavioral cycles, including sleep-wake cycles, hormone releases, and body temperature. So what's going to be our routine? The health of your night has everything to do with the health of your day, and vice versa. What is within my control? You know, your health is your wealth, and you are in control of your health and well-being to a certain degree. We are subject to pollutants, we are subject to toxins, we are subject to bad food, but we have choices that we can make that would give us a better quality of life. So what is within your control? Start thinking of things that you might possibly want to change to give yourself a good night's sleep. The quality of your diet, the quality of your exercise. Muscle dictates metabolism. Need to move those muscles. The quality of my words, thoughts, and interactions. So we need to detox our minds. Think about the words we say to ourselves, let alone to other people. Start detoxing those words out of your vocabulary and putting those positive affirmations in so you can stay above that. Joyce Meyer has some wonderful books out there. She's a good Christian lady. I'm sure you've heard of her. And she talks, words have meaning. They have an impact, so be careful what comes out of our mouths too, also what we put in our bodies. So the right amount of serotonin can produce sleep, while the smallest amount of norepinephrine produces wakefulness. Our goal should be to consume foods and supplements that support the balance of these signals. So the body is constantly signaling to itself. Some of it's our actions. You've all heard probably of epigenetics and gene expression. We can switch those genes on and off by the way we exercise, we eat, and the things that we do. So that is another huge component about our genetics. So norepinephrine. I know some of these words may not be familiar to most of you, so I'll just go ahead and explain. Norepinephrine, hormone transmitter, playing a key role in the body's stress responses, maintaining blood pressure, regulating alertness, focus, and attention. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here I'm going to talk about some of the supplements that a lot of times are not in the quantities needed in our diet to have any kind of benefit to us. So magnesium was noted as the most deficient, and it has numerous benefits if you ever wanted to look up magnesium. There are 2 magnesium printouts in your handout, which I think are quite interesting. Magnesium is an essential nutrient. Essential means the body can't make it, you must take it. Few people ingest enough magnesium daily to meet their needs due to extra mental and physical stresses. So when our bodies get stressed, that depletes that magnesium. If we're not getting enough anyway, we're going to be short. Magnesium is important for the production of neurotransmitters, glycemic control, your blood sugar, and mitochondrial biogenesis. Now, I didn't even have a clue what that was, but I will explain it. It's a biological process by which cells increase their numbers and mass of mitochondria, the critical batteries in our body. The powerhouse of the cells in response to cellular energy demands are the cues like exercise. So the demands on the body, if we're exercising, more demand on the body. It's important that we have this magnesium for that process to be effective. So now I'm going to get into some of the supplements and some of the herbs that are important for us. You can make a choice what you will or won't take. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm basically here to give you the education that is required to have a good night's sleep. If you feel inclined to go further with that, you can either speak to me privately. So I'm not going to take many questions because we get into personal situations and it's hard then to control the group. So and it'll say on the bottle, because they all have, some are taken at night, some are taken in the morning. So you'd have to read the infographics, and it's all on I have a website. You can go in and look them up, and it'll give you a printout of everything, all the science that was in there, and everything to do with that product. And again, probably would need to consult with a physician if you're on medications. So ashwagandha acts on mood and sleep. It's an adaptogenic herb. Sorry.
How about almonds for magnesium?
Sorry?
Almonds. I've always heard almonds were...
You can look up foods that are the best foods to eat to get the magnesium in your body. I'm going to suggest you take a supplement because you'll have the best benefit of that, and it's in your system and does not have to be digested. So, like I said, I wasn't going to take questions for the sake of we're being recorded, so That's always the challenge. So an adaptogenic herb like ashwagandha are particularly well suited to act as sleep support ingredients. Ashwagandha may support healthy levels of cortisol, that's your stress level. A small amount of stress is okay. If a bear came in here and was growling and chasing us, we were on a bit of fight and flight and stress. But to have that stress activated all the time, that cortisol level activated all the time, is not conducive to a good night's sleep. Ashwagandha is often the first adaptogen consumers look for because of its multimodal benefits, acting on sleep, mood, endurance, and sexual function. So you have some of these handouts in your packet there just for you to be aware of. So an adaptogen is a plant extract that helps the body resist the damaging effects of stress and restore normal physiological function by bringing the body back to normal balance. We're all stressed. We're in a world of stress. And if we can't control it by the things we do every day, the things we choose to do, choose not to do, and if we can't do it, then we might need some help. Adaptogens help the body deal with physical, chemical, and biological stress. And like I said before, precursors, that's something that causes something to happen or goes before. Okay. Here's another one, L-tryptophan. L-tryptophan is an essential amino acid. Again, essential, your body can't make it, you must take it. That cannot produce on its own and must be obtained through dietary sources. It plays a crucial role as a precursor for serotonin and melatonin, two hormones. It goes before, helping those two hormones work together synergistically. Two compounds that are important for mood regulation, stress management, and sleep. The body's supply of tryptophan can be quickly depleted by daily stressors. So if we are stressed on a regular basis, we can actually deplete some of these natural processes in the body. Mental fatigue, physical exertion, or ongoing stress. Stress increases the demand for serotonin, which is a precursor to melatonin, that's your sleep hormone, which can rapidly consume available tryptophan reserves, leaving less available for melatonin production and healthy sleep. Isn't it fascinating how all this works together synergistically? Our bodies are phenomenal. This is all going on while I'm standing here talking. Everything's working together to produce things that we need for survival. It's just fascinating. So melatonin, again, we've talked about this, is a hormone primarily produced by the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is an endocrine gland in the brain, and it secretes serotonin. It plays a key role in supporting the sleep-wake cycle, acting as the body's natural timekeeper, often referred to as the sleep hormone. Melatonin signals to the body when it's time to wind down and get some rest. Daily stressors such as exercise, and even though exercise is good, is a stress on the body. Screen time, that's that blue light. Irregular schedules and ongoing stress can interfere with melatonin production. Stress stimulates cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which can inhibit melatonin release, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Persistent stress can turn small nuisances into concerns over time. So if you're dealing with persistent stress, find a way, go for a walk, get out in the country, do something that can help alleviate, read your scriptures, study, play music, whatever it is that can get that stress level down. We work, we have careers, aging parents, children. Then we are put through this dramatic hormonal change. Men and women both have hormonal changes, women more so than men. For everything else, there's supplementation. And in your packets, you have a copy of some of these supplements if you choose that you want to go down that road to supplement what you need, because you cannot do it on your own. I'd be quite happy to meet with anybody that needs help. I have a website. It'll be at the end of the presentation. You can go there and read to your heart's delight on all these things and what they do. If you need help, I'm here to help. I'm not here just to sell and promote supplements, but they are necessary for a good night's sleep, because I don't think we can do it on our own. We can try. And maybe you only take them for 2 or 3 months. Maybe you invest in yourself. Lean in, invest in yourself. Take care of yourselves. You're worth it. Maybe do it for 2 or 3 months and see if you can get your sleep habits back on track and see where that goes. Underappreciated and critically important magnesium. It supports synthesis of the neurotransmitters serotonin and dopamine, which send signals throughout the nervous system and the brain. So it keeps us going in all our signals. It promotes GABA, which encourages relaxation as well as sleep. GABA, the body's main inhibiting transmitter, slowing down nerve activity to promote calmness and control anxiety. It's an amino acid. Low GABA levels in the body may make it difficult to relax. Magnesium may also assist in supporting the body's stress response system. Magnesium is associated with mental, emotional well-being, sleep, and health. And what's the link between sleep and magnesium? It also assists in the production of the hormone melatonin, which is our moonlight hormone or our sleep hormone, which guides sleep-wake cycles in your body. Magnesium supplementation can help the sleeping process. Magnesium helps so that your body can get back to work on the production of melatonin. Certain forms like citrates and glycinates are considered some of the best sources due to their gentleness on the stomach and their high absorption potential. I have a bottle of magnesium back on the table if anybody wants to take a look at it. And it only has glycinates and citrates. There's just 2 magnesium compounds in there because they're found to be less disruptive to the stomach and is beneficial. Some supplements have 7 or 8 in there. Magnesium plays a role in many aspects of health and is required for normal energy release. Magnesium also supports muscle development and movement and the transmission of nerve impulse to the muscles. Magnesium deficiency is probably the most common nutritional deficiency. Here's another picture to do with magnesium and what effects it can have if we don't have enough. And I've got another little slide which says, why isotonic magnesium? Isotonic is a term that everything we eat has to be broken down into an isotonic form to be absorbed by the body. And in your package, you do have an isotonic printout, the science and advantage of isotonic. This is where you drink your supplements. They're absorbed in the body at 90 to 95% in about 15 minutes. They have the same efficacy as an IV. You take more if you need more to get started, and then you back off and take less as a maintenance. But isotonic magnesium is a great tasting formula providing the body with 400 milligrams. It's highly bioavailable. That means the body can use it readily. And thanks to its unique formula and isotonic delivery, an optimal form of magnesium. It has citrate and glycinate. And like I say, I have a website, and if you want to learn more, you can go in there and look around and see what else you need to know. I'm going to skip this slide. It's hard for me to read right here. But the isotonic magnesium promotes head comfort, promotes muscle health and comfort, helps normal blood sugar levels, supports a healthy sleep quality, helps maintain normal blood pressure, cardiovascular health, cognitive health, bone health, helps the body maintain a healthy or sufficient or proper level of magnesium, combating magnesium deficiency. It's amazing what's out there for us, and all this is naturally produced for us. Here's a little graph, or whatever you want to call it, on the different ages and how much magnesium they need, starting with our children. And I believe you have some of that in your handout, so I won't spend too much time on that. So now I'm going to get into the adaptogens. The botanical adaptogens are some of the most impactful options to support cognitive health. And we talked about what an adaptogen was. It's a plant extract that helps the body resist the damaging effects of stress and so on. So they help the body respond effectively to stress. They can support physical and mental endurance. Adaptogens help preserve our bodies by tempering the impact of stress. By supporting stress response, adaptogens can contribute to overall longevity. And I would say if we're looking at longevity, if we're looking to live till we're 90, 95, I would think we'd want to be healthy. You know, there are many people in the nursing homes that are just lying there, being cared for 24/7. Essentially, they're dead. They have no physical ability at all. We don't want to be like that. We want to be able to go on as long as we can. And that came from Gary Brecker, who's a human biologist and a biohacker, and he said essentially a lot of these people have ceased to live. They're still alive, but they've ceased to live. And that if we're going to have longevity, we want a quality of life that is good for us. Supporting the nervous system, stress-supporting botanicals. If you use a botanical, it can support the nervous system. There's some HPA-TGG axis support. I have no clue. I looked it up, but it's a term I'm not familiar with. But it supports some of that. When I Googled it, we couldn't get a clear response as to what it was. But this naturopath is in depth. So she probably quite well understood what that was. It's not important for us right now. But longevity signals, supporting the nervous system, and this particular axis that promotes our longevity signals. So we want to be able to get the signals to our body to keep going. We want to keep moving along. L-theanine is the major amino acid found in green tea, historically used for its relaxing effects. If you go and buy green tea, sometimes it's already oxidized, it has no benefit to you at all. You have to find a good quality green tea that is not dead in the packet. L-theanine supports healthy levels of GABA, which we've talked about, to support relaxation and healthy emotions from the stress we may feel throughout the day. L-theanine works with dopamine and serotonin to create a sense of alert calm. In addition to its calming qualities, L-theanine can also help with relaxation, focus, and sleep. And these are all botanicals, natural processes for these. You may have heard of rhodiola, stress-supporting and adaptogenic actions involved with response to the effects of stressors. Contains the glycosides, which may be responsible for its relaxation and adaptogenic actions. An adaptogen, again, is a plant extract that helps the body resist the damaging effects of stress. Ashwagandha, most of you have heard of that. Supports GABA activity, promoting a calming effect on the body, and may help to support mood. If you go to your doctors with a lack of sleep, they're going to put you on pharmaceutical medications. Some of those medications gobble up your body's natural processes. They actually gobble up the vitamins, the magnesium that's already in your body. So taking a pharmaceutical drug can sometimes be a deterrent for you. They might help for a while, but you may have to take more, take another drug to counteract the side effect of the one that you took. So always try to promote doing this naturally if you can. Sometimes it's not an option. You have to take a medication or your body doesn't function correctly. But there are other things that you can do, and know that these nutraceuticals are at a high grade. That's why I suggest if you're going to take them, please, if you're on medication, talk to your physician first. And if you can't get to your physician, talk to a pharmacist. They usually know the compounds of most vitamins and drugs and can help you navigate that without having to go see your doctor. So I think there's a copy of Bliss in your package. And this is an anti-stress formula. You probably take it before you go to bed. It's actually a passion flower, perennial blossoming vine that is native to the southeastern United States, Brazil, and Argentina. So when the company gets these compounds, they have to go out and look for them. Where are they growing? Where are they able to be retrieved? And that sometimes is a process. Evidence suggests that the passion flower constituent apigenin binds to central benzodiazepine receptors, possibly causing relaxing effects without impairing memory or motor skills. A lot of people are on highly concentrated drugs like benzodiazepines. They're mood altering, they can cause problems. You can do it naturally. Some studies have pointed to the flavonoids in passion flower as the primary constituents responsible for its relaxing effects. I'm not going to go into all Bliss. I think it's in your package, so you can read more on that. That's probably the flyer that's recognizable in your packet. This one talks about hemp, and hemp has come out a lot lately, and there's certain levels of hemp. If that's something that you would be interested in, we do have a CBD chewable that is also good for stress control. That's hemp compounds. L-theanine, associated with calm and focused state of mind. L-theanine can be particularly effective in impacting the physiological and psychological responses to stress. We know when we're stressed, we don't think clearly, we can't sleep, our bodies hurt, we ache. We're just not together when we're under this level of stress. Lemon balm contains compounds like rosmarinic acid and citronella. Lemon balm can be enjoyed as a calming herbal tea or taken in various forms like extracts and capsules. It is known to help respond to stress, support mood, and promote relaxation. So I'm going to skip through those. So we talked a little bit of some of the hormones in the body, and that was serotonin. Tryptophan converts to serotonin, a neurotransmitter that promotes relaxation and regulates the sleep-wake cycle. Tryptophan aids in maintaining the body's internal clock through melatonin production, and we need melatonin to sleep. Melatonin levels decline as we age. Serotonin levels decline as we age. Serotonin may support healthy mood, and melatonin is also a powerful antioxidant, so our body can detoxify, especially for our brains at night, so we cannot have that diagnosis of dementia. There's another supplement listed in your booklet, and it is Essentials Turned Down. I'm not going to read all of these because it could become quite monotonous or boring, but they're in your packet. If you need to know more about them and you can't find it online, please let me know. I will go over this one, though. This one is called Prime Sleep. Sleep is not essential for neurotransmitter balance, but also, it's not only essential for neurotransmitter balance, but also for hormonal balance. So how our body connects to each other, talks to itself, synergizes, and provides that hormone balance, it's important that we have sleep. Hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone, and melatonin, the sleep-regulating hormone, and various growth hormones follow circadian rhythms closely tied to sleep patterns. The persistent activation of the body's stress response can disrupt the delicate balance of neurotransmitters in the brain. It's just fascinating to me how the Lord created us. So intense, so diverse, but we all have this going on within us. So melatonin, again, deep sleep impacts blood sugar, making overeating or late snacking a bigger issue. So they say not to eat after 6, 7 o'clock and to keep the carbs low. Melatonin is a brain hormone and plays a role in and influences the cycle of multiple hormones and their activity. So while you have heard melatonin may help support sleep, know that getting a good night's sleep is paramount to your health and longevity. Again, more supplements to talk about and more compounds to help make sleep better. So who is Prime Sleep for? Who would really benefit from taking a Prime Sleep product? Shift workers, people who travel, daylight saving time changes, which disrupts our sleep pattern, individuals with greater than 3 weeks without restorative sleep. Some people just don't sleep at all, 2 to 3 hours maybe, or not even at all. I dealt with a lady in Higginsville, and she hadn't slept for years. She'd just catnap here and there, but she never had a good night's sleep. Occasional fragmented sleep, and individuals with sleep concerns related to age. So why it works. Ongoing stress impacts sleep, thyroid, libido, that's your sexual function, and blood sugar. Action steps. Recommend 10 to 15 minutes of daily mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, or journaling. Use adaptogens like ashwagandha to support your adrenal and thyroid balance. Nutrients like magnesium and melatonin support relaxation and sleep quality, so maybe you take a melatonin supplement. Recommend magnesium glycinate for glucose metabolism and relaxation. Consider melatonin supplementation for disrupted sleep patterns due to work, travel, or age, and avoid screens and caffeine in the evening. If you can do nothing else, get a good night's sleep. I know a lot of that was probably things you've never heard of before, maybe some of you have. So I'm just going to summarize, and if you think of the quiz that we did before we started, I'm going to give you some of the answers to those questions. Sleep, it's science. It's critical for longevity. It's critical for muscle. And muscle is the tissue of longevity. Most, especially women, end up in a nursing home because they've lost muscle. I will add this, which is supposed to be in next week's class on detox, the GLP-1 injections and medications that are out there to help people lose weight. are attacking your muscle. A lot of people are losing weight, but they're losing muscle. Muscle is for longevity. If you can't raise yourself off your chair, if you can't get yourself off the bed, put yourself on the toilet, you are probably losing muscle and need to work on that. If you have poor sleep habits, you are living against your metabolism and your health. You will compromise healthy aging and healthy living without quality sleep. It's necessary for a critical brain and memory consolidation. Most consolidation of memory is in deep sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. When the sun goes down, your chemicals go up. Just pay attention, don't ignore it. Blue light, talked about that a little bit throughout this last 45 minutes. It's pervasive. It prevents the temperature dropping, therefore suppressing melatonin. So if you have TVs in your bedroom or you have to take your phone, try somehow to get some of that blue light out. Get a pink Himalayan light, or start preparing for sleep about 7 o'clock and turning the lights down in the home. So prepare you, keep the home cool, so it'll prepare you to get that good night's sleep. Cortisol goes up when those lights are on, and melatonin goes down, so you cannot get a good night's sleep. Red light and pink Himalayan salt lights can counteract the effects of pervasive blue lights like the TV, computers, and the phones. This changes the way hormones work. Look out for our kids, like I said earlier. They're playing on their phones way into the early hours of the morning, or watching TV or on their computers. That blue light is very pervasive. Pay attention to them. If you have your grandkids over, watch how they operate their phones and their TV. Maybe it's time to switch those off and go to bed. Like I say, invest in a pink light, turn off blue lights around 7 p.m. Prepare for good quality sleep. You are worth it. The routine wears the pants. This is critically important. Try to go to bed and get up at the same time every evening and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Take a nap if you have to. It's okay to take a nap. They're not usually disruptive. However, you can have a 20-minute nap or a 90-minute nap. Set your alarm. If you wake up in between a nap cycle, you probably won't feel good. If you ever woken up from a little nap in the chair and you feel really groggy and foggy and you can't get orientated, because you woke up in the middle of a sleep cycle. Serotonin ultimately makes melatonin work. Stress increases the demand for serotonin. L-tryptophan necessary to make serotonin. Magnesium we talked about, essential and necessary for life. What the body can't make, we must take. Decreased levels make it difficult to go to sleep and relax. If we have an insufficiency, there's an inability for those neurotransmitters, how we communicate inside our bodies, to balance blood sugars and mood. It produces building blocks for the mitochondria, that was that critical battery that we have to produce energy, liver and brain functions. The mitochondria is our critical battery. We talked about ashwagandha, L-tryptophan, and these are in your handouts. Talked very briefly about vitamin D, very much like melatonin. They call it the kissing cousin. So again, I want to say supplementation is prudent due to our lifestyles. We all live stressfully, unfortunately. We're all running several different directions. We're all dehydrated. A lot of us don't take time to drink. And I did have a little sample up here. Here it is. This is a little electrolyte mix. It's got some black pepper in there. It's a really good mix if you want to hydrate yourself. This makes me drink 32 ounces of water, which I wouldn't ordinarily do. It has magnesium in here. Most electrolyte mixes that you can purchase do not have magnesium. So this would be one way to get some magnesium in your body if you like to drink water. There's 32 ounces here, 4 servings. So cost about 50, 60 cents a serving. Much cheaper than Gatorade or some of the Monster drinks or some of the other drinks out there. So that is something that is available also on my website. So what do we need to do? We need to move, work those muscles. We need to deep breathe. Often Gary will tell me, take a breath. We need to set a routine. Maybe journal. I think Sister Connie gave something about gratitude, and I wasn't sure. I was in North Carolina on a wellness conference, but Gary came home and said that Sister Connie had said something about gratitude. It's really important. We need to have those positive affirmations and that gratitude in our lives. And that helps us relax and promotes good sleep. Our spirituality, be careful what you say. Words have meaning. And we need to eat right and lower our caffeine levels. So just to finish up, I'm pretty much good on time. There are 4 classes. This next one coming up next week at the same time is on detoxification of the body. And I have recipes, I have ways to detox, lots of literature, lots of videos that I can share that you can choose what style of detox is right for you. Some people are intense, they want the whole kit, they want to do it religiously. Others can't fit that into their lifestyle as well, but do something. At least do something. So that's next week, and I'd like to think of us detoxing our minds at that point too, not just our bodies. The following week is Process to Progress. It's a little presentation on processed foods, what happens to the foods as they're brought to our table. We have no idea what goes on before they come from the farms or wherever they've come from until they get to our homes, and that's usually the processed. So it's going from process to progress, which is whole grains, which is what we should be looking at. And the 4th presentation is going to be a difficult one for me. It's about bondage broken and the release from compulsive habits. And how many of us have said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start losing weight. Next week, or maybe whenever, I'm going to study more. I'm going to get up every morning and spend 15 minutes with the Lord. And the alarm clock goes off, and you push in that snooze button, and the flesh is saying, oh, just 5 more minutes. And you've made a commitment to do something, and already it's gone. We're basically telling the Lord we don't trust him enough. We're more in tune with our flesh than we are with the Spirit, and that's what that bondage broken is going to attempt to give you, is ways to get out from these compulsive habits that we all have. We have self-talk that goes on, and if we could find ways to positively self-talk, that would be great. So it's time to shine. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people. Create an environment in which you can shine. Remove the clutter. Decorate your space with inspirational words and quotes. Read them every day. Make exercise a priority, not just to look good, but more importantly, to feel great. Exercise releases happy endorphins to your brain, helping you to see the positive in every situation. A positive attitude on the inside shines on the outside. You know, what we do in our closets and what we do privately shows on the outside. People can sense if something's not right, you know? So sometimes what we do in private, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to look good, and then you pack on 10 pounds, and people are like, I thought you were going to lose weight. It shows on the outside. So you can't cheat yourself. You really have to be honest with yourself. Be very candid. Feed yourself with foods that nourish and fuel your success. Eat nutrient-dense foods. Your body will utilize the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, and energy in these foods to help you shine in all of your day-to-day activities. Be confident in yourself and the abilities you have to reach any goal in which you set your heart and mind to. You can do it. You just need to believe in yourself. Confidence shines in everything you do. Find someone else who needs help reaching a goal and make a commitment to them as you continue on your path to reach your goal. Weren't we all made to shine? And I believe we were. God created us in a phenomenal way. And sometimes we deny that and don't allow him to shine through us because we're always fussing with stress or other things that take up that time of the habits. And it's time to shine. I do want to share one more thing. I do need the health survey back if you feel inclined to give it back to me. The waiver, the rest of these documents you keep, and you'll have more next week for the detox. But Susan and I went to a Medicare lunch yesterday in Leibold. And when we went there, we were really not sure what to expect. It was put on by United Healthcare, or AARP, which is now if you're 65 and older, you have one of those plans, I guess. And I think my plan is pretty phenomenal. I've had great resources from my Medicare plan. So if there's anybody here looking to learn more about some of what's available out there through Medicare, it is free, or are coming to that age that they want to know about Medicare, please let us know. We went yesterday, we got into this big room, and it was a Chiefs celebration, even though they lost. But anyway, we had food from Jack Stack, and then a lady got up, and she shared a program, and I thought it was phenomenal. So I'm going to share that with you right now. This lady is Carolyn Skelton. She's a registered dietitian. And through Medicare, she has a program. She's an exercise physiologist. She's a health and wellness coach. I'm going to see if I can get her here. There is a program that she promotes that is on nutrition. There's recipes. There's exercise. And if you are looking at prediabetes or you're diabetic, it is a free program through your Medicare plan. So it won't cost you a penny. So if there's anybody here interested in learning what Carolyn does, I think I should partner with her. She's a great resource yesterday. She wasn't pushy. She asked a couple of questions about simple carbs and whole grains. And that was about the extent of the communication we had. But she has lots and lots of resources. And I think it would behoove us to learn more about her and what's available, especially for those people that are either 65 or coming up on 65. And I think that is the end of my presentation. I just need you all to be healthy and get a good night's sleep. Thank you for your attention.